Okay, now I should be back on the correct channel. This stream is also not suitable for children. And yeah, playing some Factorio. Been into this for a few days, but I've either had work or I felt really ill. I've already had work today and I feel ill, but not hopefully ill enough that it's going to be an issue. So I've had this save up for 4 hours. I wanted to get the, the boring initial bit out of the way where I just sort of mooch around while waiting for metal to cook. So yeah, clearing out the space for a new little coal mine. I'll show you in the main base shortly. Have it be a interesting, experience or something. I don't know. Why a new coal mine? I don't know. It was one of the nearest materials that I need quite a lot of. And I also want to make a new solar plant today. That's, I guess, one of my goals. The goal of energy efficiency. Enough, at least, efficiency. There's a tiny bit of coal just there. Guess I'll put that there. Yeah, so my apologies for just temporarily streaming on Ash's channel. I'd forgotten that I'd had it set to her stream last night. My internet dipped out briefly while I was getting it all set up, and apparently I had not actually done the thing I thought I had. So there's all the mines in place. The middle. Well, they all need conveyor belts anyway, but hello, Stu. You didn't realise there were people in Factorio? Well, you have a little, player avatar. I guess that counts as a people. It's currently night time, which isn't helping the situation with visibility, but I'm sure you can move past that fairly easily. Yeah, I'm currently sitting in my streaming with standards bit on my server, so in theory people from my Discord could jump on. However, I'm attempting to keep this more game oriented before I go and play Stu's 40k RPG game later on today, which hopefully I will feel well enough to adequately participate in, as I missed the last one due to the big blech. Good times. So, I probably should bring ammunition out here so I can have turrets and stuff to defend the coal mine, as it is going to produce pollution. It's therefore going to attract the angry insects. Right. That's the coal mine there. So in theory, if I post it in the side of the coal mine, might as well bring it down the front. I can use it as a defensive measure. I think I'm about to run out of conveyor belts. No, I've actually managed to produce all the ammunition I needed, so my perimeter is solid. I've got just very basic, 2 turret, 2 turret, 2 turret style. Don't really need coal at the moment, but that's not really the point, I guess. So I'm not doing any research. In fact, I think my entire factory's pretty much turned off. Something was doing something. Yeah, it's measured in kilowatts as opposed to megawatts. Yeah, I think it's just background power. Nothing's doing anything. Well, I can kick that into gear. Gonna need more conveyor belts soon. Gonna need walls. Yeah, fairly basic base so far. It's got red science, green science, grey science, well, military science. General power station. I've been trying to keep it fairly small, and I'm going to try and segment it as best I can, so that I can produce the robot grid when it's time. So if I bring it out of this side, that's not going to work as well. Bring it out of this side. Then it's not a direct feed. The thing is, I don't want this to be the like too much. I'm failing at words today. Brilliant. I've saw a review of the new Doctor Who yesterday, and wow, that looks depressingly awful. But I've not seen it myself, so I can't say for certain, but it doesn't inspire me to watch it, shall we say. The last Doctor Who's I watched were the Matt Smith ones, as I was at university, I think, for all the time that Capaldi was the Doctor. Well, I think I saw his first episode, I'm not too sure. It's been a while. Deforestation. It's all gonna get used for stuff though, not just gonna burn it. Oh, that was all my conveyors. Oof. Yeah, critical drinker. It's basically just, this doesn't make any sense, it's kind of condescending, and it's just dumb. Because people teleporting from inside the TARDIS, you know, that thing that's meant to be proof against all that, and it's, I gather, a fairly big plot point that, you know, you can't just teleport inside, otherwise the Daleks, you know, would have, in their, you know, endless quest to kill the Doctor. Also, apparently, I can't remember if it's beginning of the episode or one of the previous episodes, but I saw it was a line, but the Doctor is always male, with the addendum, with the comment then of, I had an improvement, or I had an upgrade or something, and it's just like, ugh. Way to, you know, just, ugh. Like, I don't think even Matt Smith's Doctor could be accused of being that, just sort of, ugh. It's only consolation for the people who are going to be like, why are you talking about Doctor Who? I quite like Matt Smith's Doctor. He was fun. In a way that Tennant's Doctor sort of hadn't been for a while, because Tennant's Doctor became very serious. Yeah, apparently it's, everything I've heard about it is that it's just not even thinly veiled like politics, it's just politics. Because they want to be like, aha, oh so random, you know, observe how like big brain we are. Because we have the biggest brains. The largest, wrinkliest brains on us. No smooth brains over here, fellas. Nothing like that. But now I can remember the Doctor doing, like, the, I guess, you know, unthinkable stuff now from, like, some of the older ones. I can just about remember those before my kind of time of watching it. Because I think it was on a, I can't remember why. I know I hadn't seen most of the ones before Tennant, but I know they did repeats of them occasionally. By the ones before Tennant, I don't mean like the old Doctor Who. I mean like the ones with Rose and Christopher Eccleston. And I think it's in, it's in a few of those. And all the people's different opinions of how, which companions were like good, which ones were insufferable, all that. It's good, healthy conversation, but from everyone I've seen on the new one, it's just the Doctor is just there as a vehicle for the companions. In the case of the TARDIS, literally just being a vehicle. But that's just a theory. Oh yeah, it's all set on Earth because, that thing where you can travel through time and space. You know where we want to go? Cardiff. But no, there's been a bunch of different companions that I think, been quite fun. And I know I keep using the word fun, but that's how I thought these shows were meant to be. They're meant to be entertainment, not a lecture on how terrible you are. If you want to know how terrible I was, I'd go on Twitter. That's where it's all filmed. It's all filmed in BBC Wales. Does most of the filming for it. So it's all shot in and around Cardiff. If they need, towns. Apart from very occasionally they have, I think bits of London where they've got the need for it. Yeah. Now I have that thing on Twitter if there's a bunch of artists I like, but I also have loads of, I guess more professional stuff on Twitter. So I very rarely like or retweet stuff because I don't want to have my professional image just be marred by pages and pages of weird memes. But if the thing stands on its own without any context, I guess it's safer. But I don't have much in the way of stone toss memes, without context. Because that might be a bit of a what the there we go, right. Excuse me. Yay, rib pain. Yep, that's still there, in case you're wondering. So, it's a new year. Is that any better? No. Got a nice video of my rib cage not looking correct. I'm hoping I can show it to a vet and they'll, do something. Or at least be interested. And by a vet, like a doctor. Alright, this is not... Right, so without cliff explosives, I can't really do much about that bit. you know, as after a while it starts being, it seems like it'd be easier to get a vet to treat whatever's wrong with you than a medical doctor, like, you know, for humans. Yeah, no, I seem to have a condition that does not exist in the general NHS's lexicon of things that can be wrong with a human. However, generally it's a sports injury, so I'm hoping if I can find someone who deals with, you know, sports injuries, that I can get it, you know, dealt with. Because, you know, not being in pain a lot of the time and being very diminished in what I can actually do would be quite pleasant. You know, that whole being a functional human. I know, calm down. Well, got my work done today at least, so. Alright, so allegedly this entire wall should be buildable. I don't know that I've got a bit of light on the screen from that weird glowing thing in the sky behind me. Not quite sure what it is, but it keeps coming back. Doesn't really matter which of those I adjust, as long as it's at least one of them. I'm gonna need a gate. Need to put the gate back in. There we go. Yeah, no, my Twitter seems to be getting a lot more train related, as I'm slowly just, you know, adding more, like, groups and individuals to, like, my follow spectrum. And occasionally they retweet stuff that I post, so I'm kind of wanting to keep a fairly good, you know, public image for that kind of thing. Because, you know, professionalism. Alright, so until I've got ammo, I don't put the turrets in, because otherwise it's a bit of a waste. Which is technically true of everything inside that perimeter fence, but let's just gloss over that for now. So Logistics 2 is in progress, so I'll be able to get the longer underpass tunnels, which will be good. I need to get more conveyor belts, I need to drop off a bit of this wood soon, you know, a little bit, tiny smidge. I need to get some paths down, because this walking lark is tiring. Right, I've got all this spare wall that I don't need, so I'm going to chuck it into these factories so that they can turn it into science if they need it. They still make ammunition, as to be expected. Get them. Got plenty of the rest of it. I just need conveyor belts. I think I just need conveyor belts. Whee! 400 should be enough. So yeah, hope everyone's having a nice Sunday morning. It's technically the afternoon, but never mind. It's morning for a lot of the American type peoples who may or may not be watching. That's good enough for me. I may be joined by people in the VC later, but for now it's just me. Also, I forgot that the ending of Cry of Fear, at least for the multiplayer bit, is really abrupt, so just after that stream ended yesterday, like the next level was the end of the game, where you walk outside and then it's like, oh yeah, we're done. It's weird, as I'm sure you could tell, but it's, you know, just sort of ends. I'd imagine there's probably some kind of, you know, story that goes with that we don't get, you know, in the multiplayer, but yeah. Right, conveyor belts are going in. Normally on satellite base like this I'd end up using like the little laser turrets, but don't have laser turrets. Yet, at least. And I need oil, and last time I looked at my map, I don't have any little purple specks. So I need to go out exploring. Did my radar dish get destroyed? My radar dish got destroyed. Alright then. I can go there. Excuse me. Ugh. Yep, mobile rib cage means that the digestive system can be a bit noisy, I'm afraid. It's not on purpose. So if it was, I would at least try and be more entertaining with it. It is, you know, the least I can do. There's not any other research I want to do right now, so I'm trying to hold back on the research, you know, keep the pollution low. He says, making a large coal mine. Hello, Cross. No, if people want to jump on, they can. Just, you know, either nudge me if you're sitting in the waiting room because I don't have Discord visible, or, you know, just jump in, I guess. Oops. I'm kind of using the robot building, like, system without the robots. It's kind of tedious, but it's good for visual planning, as I don't have to try and, you know, work everything out in my head. As I used to do that all the time before the robots were more of a thing and the blueprinting system was a thing, or at least before I found out about it. I played this game for several hundred hours, I think, before I even got robots. It's surprising. Alright, so power lines, which I probably could reduce the amount of, but I'm sure it'll be fine. That goes there, 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 there. Now these aren't powering up because these power cables are slightly shorter than the ones I would generally use, but they will when they're all connected up in the intermediates. So there. There we go. So this suddenly becomes an audible pollution creating coal plant. Extra horrible. let's do that for that one as well. Cool. Now it should keep the extra side of that splitter clean. Yep, there we go. That was 25 minutes of me getting that set up. I hope you're having a nice time. So we've got a radar scanner there. I need to get 2 more to go on the outside. Also, the lights are now being built, and I did need lights because I can't see, and I like to be able to see. Seeing is, you know, helpful and stuff. We put lights on every second one. I don't need that much light. I just need enough to be able to see a bit during the dark. There's no turret there, so it's that one, I guess. I can't put one there. It's something. Yeah, no, I have no idea of barely anything about the new Doctor Who. Like, I remember back in the prehistoric days of memes, of all the, like, Matt Smith ones. Like, the fucking fish custard. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Like, clearly someone, but why? So, coal comes in over here. If I wanted to be extra picky about it, just do that. It goes down the side that doesn't get used. What fun. So that coal mine's not actually going to do much, but it is another outpost that has a radar on it, so I can... Oh, there were bugs. There weren't bugs anymore. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to put a radar dish in each corner. Yeah, just going again for the very basic foundry setups. They're nice and modular, good for early game construction. Can be multiplied, can be nailed together, good times. Clear out these trees so I can put the new scanner in. Right. I don't know when the aliens destroyed my previous one, but I guess I missed it when they did. So the coal going around the outside means any aliens attacking from the side will get pulled around the base. I've actually seen people use the high-speed conveyors against the wall so that the biters can't come and chomp on your wall, which is in theory a pretty good defense. So yeah, I need oil before I can do much more, so I guess I can continue making satellite bases until I get oil. That I've got to wander around for it, and that seems, I don't know, less productive. 85,000 stone, 716,000 stone. So I reckon if I go for this iron down here, and then for that stone, that should help. But yeah, the iron first, and I'm going to try and take out that biter base. It's good. Ooh. I'm sure you can get a very detailed view of what I'm doing from here. Yeah, maximum zoom is quite pleasant, but minimum zoom is also kind of unhelpful. Yeah, if anyone's got suggestions, questions, all that stuff, just put in the comments, put in the side chat, I will attempt to get to it. Let's deal with the bugs. Yeah, I'm coming here. They've been attacking me, so I'm coming and destroying their homes. You know, villages, whatever. Pods. I'm not quite sure. I mean, considering they're pretty much their entire thing is to come and like spit on me, I don't think much of their culture. There we go. Alright, so nice big iron mine, there's no trees directly around it. It's gonna be nice. So, back corner. Didn't bring enough mines with me, don't know how many I can make. I can make 7. That's a corner. Not saying much, am I? That's, yeah, just planning out the iron mine. As you always need iron in this game. There's very rarely a time when you don't. And that time is normally because you already have iron that you went and just got. See, I'm trying not to copy and paste because this is currently on my paste bar. And I want it to stay there. Right, that is that template today. Okay, it appears I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, it's gonna be the same of course, isn't it? Herder. Excuse me. So... 1, 2, 3. Now I've got to go over there, so if I go right, and then I go left. I'm about in line with that. Going to deal with the space on the way past because xenophobia. There we go. It's not an irrational fear though of these aliens. They will kill me if they can. Should deal with most of the bug problems for a bit. What else have I seen recently? Rise of Skywalker. I don't know how much I've talked about it, particularly on a productive stream that wasn't me just sitting around playing video games with a bunch of people. It's not bad. It's kind of a terrible Star Wars film, but it's not a bad film. And that was, you know... It's honestly what I look for if I'm going to the cinema. Like, a film can be bad, but if it's entertaining at least. It's not as bad. You know, high quality like film reviews from me here. So I need steel, I need iron, I need copper, I need these, I need these, need these. I'm going to take half a stack of those. And I need new lifters. And I'm going to make those lifters into... There we go. So, if I bring in all my feed buses over here, that would make sense. If I bring in the iron about here. Oh nice, that's actually very conveniently placed. I need wall, that is the other thing I need. Knew there was something. Need to light up my factory, it's really dark. I have all those solar panels that I need to get around to using. Probably put them down here for now. But I'm actually going to need the better power lines to do that, because I don't have to make them again later. Fine, so I'm going to make a whole heap of sticks. I didn't make any gates. There we go. So this conveyor needs to come this way. I could go round, but going round is, you know, not as good. Get on the conveyor, I can go a bit faster. Running on conveyors is big and clever. And yeah, so I can get back into this. Did I need to pick anything up? Am I being very slow? I probably am. Power line's going to be done on the way back, because otherwise that can become a problem of its own. And you have a place that is powered but not supplied. Besides, conveyor belts are... That's yeah, that's going to need a wiggle. Okay. Grumble. Yes, Stu's game will be on, I believe, his channel? It might be on the Swamp Playing Games, if we can hear back from the admin of that channel. Anyway, Stu's channel is linked in the description, so feel free to go and have a look. I guess in terms of other related plugs, I will intend to run my game on Wednesday. That is the Lost in Transmission 3.5-ish fantasy game, where I currently have a party of mostly dwarves who are going out on a quest of apparent racism. against the elves. At least that's what they're doing. I don't know if that's the, you know, I had something a little grander planned. Sure you'll hate the sound of that clicking very soon. So... Now I'm sure I could censor this much better, and now I've quite such a big, like, border around some of it and not around the others. But I like my, you know, consistency. I have barely any conveyor belt left. Just going to click that to get it unchecked. So trying to keep my pollution to a minimum while I'm exploring. Because, you know, the more pollution I have, then the more ammunition I'll use. The bigger chance my base being attacked in a major way and damaged. All stuff that probably makes the game more exciting, but, you know, I'm evidently not here to be exciting. So, iron, feed output, right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has any suggestions for anything they want me to talk about while I'm doing the stream. Do let me know. Otherwise I will just ramble incoherently about whatever I feel like. I know I've got some modelling projects coming up soon, so I might put some of those on my YouTube. I'm not too sure yet, depends what it is and who it's for. Some of my customers want single one-offs, some of them want them for manufacturing purposes, and obviously manufacturing purpose ones are less of a... what's the word? You know, there's a bit more discretion, I think is the word. Which I'd hope is understandable. You know, I've got a few big jobs coming up soon that I want to get started on, but I need to have the energy, and that's not been a thing for a while. As you may have noticed in the huge gap in my doing YouTube streaming, I've just not had the energy. As normally it's just that, people are in Discord, I will go and talk to people and or just idly play video games with them, as it's something to do. Oops. That doesn't require much energy, because energy is effort. I just sound terrible, don't I? Oops. Yeah, that's about it really. No, nothing exciting's been happening for a while. I'm still me, you know, no additional news. You know, I'm, you know, still engaged and stuff. I'm actually still planning to come visit the UK in, I want to say, April. So if you feel like violently hurling change at her, I'm sure she would awkwardly have gladly receive it. Yeah. No. I'm continuing to be boring. It's good times. It's consistent. Need to get the power connected to this fairly soon. And there you go. Hey, it's actually symmetrical, like it's meant to be. I used most of my iron already. Wow. Oh, excuse me. Indigestion is getting very tiresome, especially when I've not eaten for a while. Or eaten anything, you know, generally considered bad for you. Bad for me. Well, I have eaten something that was bad for me, but whether it was specifically what it was, I don't know. I am just nailing this conversation. Right. Power lines. Like that Coldplay song. Power lines. Laying power lines is really boring. And you get to watch. Oh yeah. I should probably have gotten some lunch before this stream, but as I said, didn't feel too good. This is how I'm trying to use a lot of the wood in this game now. It's making power lines. So, a brief burst of activity when I put these in as the turrets will start chewing up the ammo. It's not actually attached at this end yet, but that's not an issue. I'm gonna need to discard some of these wood soon. They are going to become a nuisance. Let's grab some of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, seems about right. Still got plenty of material left. So apart from the wibble through the cliff, this should be a fairly consistent line all the way there. Might try and stream some more 7 Days to Die soon. That's been going fairly fun. I'm just kind of... I've done the thing where I've played it lots, kind of got a lot of the stuff I wanted to get, and now I'm kind of not so much done, but I don't want to do too much because the game servers are not very substantial, and I don't want to, you know, cause problems on that front. Now watch, so I forget to turn that back around later. There we go. So perimeter fully defended. It's got a scanner. Hey, we got oil, and we got more oil. Great. So every time, it's just out of reach. Oh well. let's get this done then, I guess. Tempted to do a rewatch of Game of Thrones Season 8 if I do more of these videos, and just... It'd be awkward to do though because I couldn't have the sound on. Because obviously if I have the sound on, you can hear the program. But also if I have the sound off, you can't hear the game. So that could be an issue. Because generally, hearing something is a thing. But so I'm open to suggestions. May also have a look at probably doing 2 episodes potentially in a row, or just doing one video with what's the word? One video per episode, or maybe one video per every 2 episodes, doing 4 parts sort of thing. I'm not too sure. Yeah, solid little outpost. It's got enough turrets on it that it should be fine. It's well supplied. All that good stuff. Forgot to turn those 2 to... never mind. That'll be fine. It's like 2 that's getting stuck. Right, let's go and plumb this iron into the other end of the system. Because the thing I want to do first is get rid of all the iron in the base, and then start using the iron from everywhere else. As otherwise, you never get rid of the iron in the base, and then you've got the awkward, like, block to deal with. So I'm probably going to try and feed it into either side of this. Now, I might start upgrading part of this place into higher capacity belts, or at least higher speed belts, but that's not going to be for a little bit yet. I'm going to slew all these power lines across one. There we go. Yep. The copper doth, not copper. The iron doth flow. And it should come in here, and then get put onto either side of that belt. So it'll only go on if there is an excess, or rather an in excess. In excess? Lack. Let's go with lack. Not enough. Missing. Any derelict mines? Okay. Yeah, the hunger for bullet is. For instance, this is one that could benefit from having red conveyors. I need more gears. Just need more conveyor belts. Yeah, can't hurt. There we go. as that problem was there was not enough getting through the system to feed it. As this system has a vast hunger for iron. So there we go. There's now no iron backing up on those ones, and they can operate to their heart's content. There we go. Now there's definitely not enough getting through there. I could try and pull this line down as well. Hello, Lord Crispo. Yeah, could pull that line down. I just need to wiggle about that bit. Or the easiest thing is probably just to adjust this one. I need more gears soon. It's not going to have that much of an increase in capacity, but it will help a bit. At least for the backlog that's sitting there. Right. That splitter can still be there, but I might move it further up later. At least for now it should fill the gap in the system. Oh, very dark in the game. I need to get more lighting in the area. Been reading Fire and Blood again. That's a pleasant read. It's the Targaryen histories in the A Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire like setting. Currently on Jaehaerys and Alyssane, where Princess Aria, I think. Like Rhaenyra. Aria. I don't know. I think that's the pronunciation. I'm now overthinking it. Never mind. Anyway, has been a angry, like, you know, young teenager, and has absconded with Balerion the Black Dread, who was her uncle Maegor's dragon. Maegor being noted for being Maegor the Cruel. Aha. That could work. Bullet out the right side. What happens if I do this? A continuous feed. The iron doesn't go anywhere. Good day. Good times. Right. That'll help a lot actually. As the consistency is better. And that just fills up any gaps. Good, right. Excuse me. Solar panels, that's what I was doing. I don't need mass manufacture of a lot of stuff yet, so I'm just going to come over here to build the solar farm. And yes, to be ecological, I must destroy trees. It just seems to be a thing. Shame you can't plant trees in this game. That would make it very helpful in that regard. Yep, still using exactly the same type of solar farms, where I just have grids of them. Generally start out with a 3x3, which is technically a 9x9 grid of them. But after a while I convert these to the radio control tower ones. People around me apparently still can't drive, based on the horns at least. So you can just have them conveniently centered. That is centered and not centered. As it's a video game. I don't know what it smells like. Need more green chips. Let's go get some of those. Now, I should be developing oil refining stuff because I have oil wells. Why am I doing that? That's probably a good question. I should also be making a pipe factory. Because I need a lot of it. I'm going to just tack it on over here for now. So need them. That's going to be pipe to ground. That's going to be pipe. It's also just going to be pipe. Right. I need to start researching the oil refining stuff. And to get there, I need engines and fluid handling. There we go. There we go. So this iron doesn't do anything or go anywhere unless there's a gap, and there's unlikely to be gaps for at least a little while. As there's only 2 bays of this. Let's have a look over here. Yep, nothing is happening. This place in fact has so little happening, the pollution has gone mostly down to nothing. Hey. Nice work with that base, chewing it all up. No, there's no kills yet, so it's not been enough to cause them to attack. So we've got crude oil there, crude oil over here. Logistically, that crude oil is probably optimal, as it's near that one, and I can run them together. But this one's already far away, and it looks to be in clearer ground. There's a lot of trees around there. And I'm lazy, so I might just go over here. We'll see how they look when there's been more scannery done. So pipes to ground are being made, pipes are being made. So that's going to continue chewing through my iron for a while. Need to get some lighting in this place.
Hey, Skog.
Hello there. I'm joined by Cookrack,
Ah,
for people who are not familiar with your voice. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, very exciting here today. I'm doing barely anything. Alright, so if anyone has any questions, Crispo, I'm sure they can ask, and I will attempt to answer them in regards to how this game works. I'll put all those in the wrong place. Currently I'm putting down solar panels, so I've got a less pollution causing means of creating electricity. As the only electricity, the only pollution is caused in their manufacture, mining all the raw resources and processing them. But it all helps. Yay. Ooh. Okay, this patch has quite a lot of trees around it, but it has a 2000 yield. That's probably the easiest to get to the base. There's all new infrastructure to do this. Conversely, I could just run water and coal there and have the entire plant just there. The big thinking is happening. Do I want to start manufacturing higher quality bullets to supply my the thing, base stuff? Could use different ammunition. In fact, I even know how I can do it conveniently. Huzzah. Go with like that. Go like that. Clear off this belt. And I'll need 2 splitters. See you later, Crispo. So I need red to go that way. So the grenades will keep going, but I also need another splitter so that not all the ammo goes that way. Things I have thought through. Not this, evidently. Right. Okay, so nothing really changed with grenades, but about half the ammunition produced goes to that side, which means that red will be used to fill in the gaps are created, and yellow will fill in the rest of it. So very little overall change. Oops. And And I now have a lot of grenades. Well, that's not helpful. Okay, note to self. Don't try and place grenades into a building. That's not how grenades work. However it is, but it's not how... What they did was not what I wanted them to do. Yeah, just grenaded my own factory. What is this, Sweden? Stu's game is at 8 o'clock, so that's another 5.5 hours.
That is correct.
So.
Destroy the traitors.
Something like that, anyway. Well, I don't currently have any research to do. As in, I will need to do the plastics one, but I need to get the plant set up first. So I'm going to need more steel, more iron, more gears, more turrets, more walls. You know, basically everything. How many oil wells are there? There's 9 there. And that's currently the easiest one to access. Conversely, I could just start making trains now. But that's difficult without the infrastructure. That I make very basic trains. Need to get rid of some wood. Well, there's some wood gotten rid of. There you go. Any interruptions in the coal supply, although probably fairly cataclysmic in the short term, we'll have, you know, at least an wood to keep it going. As I would need a fuel-powered lifter. There we go. So, if I come out here, it's got cliffs. This has no cliffs. It has 3, 6, 10, 12. I might be able to go it. I should be able to. Why am I being like this? Right, I need a wall. I've got turrets. That being turrets, not Tourette's.
I was
Capable of not arbitrarily saying words for undisclosed reasons. I know that's not what Tourette's is, I'm explaining it badly.
You shall worst possibly imagine without control.
Involuntary tics, some of which can be verbal or physical. I know one of my lecturers had a thing where he would, like, tilt his head quite regularly. It was a sort of a slightly odd one, but nothing, you know, bad. So I need 19 more to fill in that gap. So it's, yeah.
I wasn't actually aware of physical manifestations of Tourette's.
There's some. There's nothing, you know. It's not particularly exciting. Okay, so there's loads of like low tier forms of it that probably wouldn't even get, you know, picked up on. It's kind of like a lot of low end bits of conditions, you know. Like, I guess the primary one being like ladies who are autistic. I just sort of, by virtue of being ladies, and generally how like society is at ladies, it's not generally that much of an issue, or it doesn't get picked up on because it's not obvious. What's the whole thing of, you know, like how like generally, I say this is a big generalization. Ooh, scary. How, you know, like young ladies are socialized compared to young guys. They kind of more have to pick up on, or if it's not as bad, just sort of learn it anyway. Stuff that guys don't pick up on because I guess differences in like expression and all that jazz. Like, you know, the whole thing of like from a lot of like personal experience and or anecdotal evidence, women are fucking terrible to each other. Feel free to like counter that if you want to, but I've seen what you're like. Don't at me. Not saying you're terrible people, I'm just saying you're terrible to each other. Like, you know, that, did you see, you know, did you hear what she said, like, you know, if you've ever worked in an office or like a shop or something, you can fairly quickly tell who doesn't like each other in like the ladies, but the guys, it's a lot more vague and like not clear, I guess. Anyway, I say generally just guys seem to be less direct or more direct, but in a, you know, constructive way, I guess. There's less like passivity about it, is what I'm attempting to say. You know, like, if a guy has a problem with you, they will most likely tell you or just not mention it. Whereas if a lady has a problem with you, she'll tell all of her friends.
Speaking of which, I have a problem with you.
Again, these are generalizations, but that's how generalizations work. You can't be like, well, in this case, it's like, yeah, obviously not in individual cases that contradict this, but... I am fucking terrible at reading social situations and knowing what to do in them, due to not having very good practice at it when I was younger, presumably. Imagine that. Me, autistic. So I need to put a branch out here to go that way. So I think I'm going to start at the oil well, come back. Hey, I actually made some spare gates. That was well thought through of me. I worked out earlier that my work, that actually was the bit of me working and not just like seeing my boss to like find out what I need to do next sort of thing. Took me less time than the Fires of Ancient Cosmic Destiny. Because I just put the next track on my phone, which was that one, and I was like, okay, well, I'm done now, I've packed up, I am now leaving, and the track is finishing, okay. Ooh, I'm gonna die. That base is a bit more than I want to deal with right now. As my health is rather low. It is dark as anything here. Good if you could get like campfires as like an early game source of light. 'Cause I know you got the flashlight, but it's not that much. I'm just going to plonk these down. I'll adjust them directionally later. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Ba-da-ba-da. Now, I should probably do the oil refining at the base. That makes, you know, reasonable sense. Oh, that is straight down that canyon. And by canyon, not a canyon.
Not a canyon?
Well, it's like a cliff. Okay, let's try that again without messing it up. That's not so bad. Is that gonna reach? I don't think it's, not even slightly. Okay. What if I pull it in to there? That will allegedly fit, okay. Fun times had by some, I'm sure.
Yay.
Excitement. That would be too close. Right, so that's the perimeter in place around the oil fields. Generally, oil fields are not too bad for pollution in this game. Until, you know, later game at least. But that's not gonna inspire much confidence if the Bug Nation attacks. Just because it's less doesn't mean it isn't some, and with a base of Gribbly Boys not too far away, it's a good incentive to not, you know, tempt fate. So I believe the Blackadder quote on that is, "Fate once more vomits upon my eiderdown." Which I believe is a somewhat archaic version of, like, you know, duvet, or like, I guess the American variation of that is comforter? It's an old...
Is what? Sorry?
Comforter, like the... You know, like a... Okay, so, is this a thing in America? Because I gather it is, but it seems to vary massively by region. So, like a... Generally, like, sort of cottonish fabric blob that goes on your bed, that you can put a cover over it, so it's, you know, looks different, sort of thing.
A blanket?
Yeah, like a blanket, but it's thicker than a blanket. Like a blanket is generally like a self-contained single piece of material. But like a duvet is like a... I don't know, like I'm trying to think of words to describe it that are not just like the word itself. Basically, like a big cotton-filled
What was the
bag,
word?
kind of like a sleeping bag, but if you like had just one side of it.
What was the word though?
Duvet.
Oh yeah, no, that's not. Well, around here anyway. That's not.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
What
so
thing?
I've heard it called a comforter, but that doesn't make sense because that doesn't sound right, and it has very little, you know, sophistication to it. 'Cause it makes you sound like you're about, you know, 7. Haha, dab. But generally, it's like, well, it's a floof-filled bag that has, you know, floof, so that you can have like a layer of insulation. I'd say like a sleeping bag if you like had it as just like a solid sheet of sleeping bag.
Huh.
And you can get covers and stuff for it. Kind of like a giant pillow. And that it covers, you know, the bed. I can't remember what my point was now. Well done, me. Oh yeah, it was the Blackadder quote of "Fate once more vomits upon my eiderdown," which is a particularly what's the word?
On his what again?
Hmm?
On his what?
Eiderdown, just an archaic form of like bed covering or like duvet, essentially.
Huh.
I guess a slightly less crass way of saying, you know, that fate shit on you.
Indeed.
Only slightly less crass. Eventually, getting all the piping done before you've turned the pumps on is less waste potential. Yay, sirens. It's that time of year where there's
Yay.
daylight and sirens as opposed to darkness and sirens. I live near it's not a main road, but it's a main route through lots of things. So lots of like ambulances and stuff come this way. Okay, so those are all connected.
Haha.
Hello.
Ah, hey Stu.
This is apparently me.
Allegedly.
Okay.
I want to go and cook soon, but that means I need to stop streaming, and I kind of want to do a decent length stream.
Do 2 hours at least, that's respect.
Yeah.
Means you have about half an hour to go. Till
Yeah,
food
I can probably.
preparation. I hope everyone's had a nice Sunday so far.
So far, yeah.
Good.
Had work. There's nothing particularly major, but nice, satisfying job that is done. I now don't have to do it later, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I bailed on finishing some of it off a couple of days ago. I realised I hadn't taken a big enough extension lead with me to work, so I couldn't use my drill. And I really couldn't be able to go back just with an extension lead to finish up like a couple of minute job, and I was going back today. Also, my boss forgot one of the things that she asked me to bring her, so that's still there. So the things they have put it down, therefore it is still there.
Right. Now I've just been finishing up the the game. At least some
Yeah.
finishing bits of it. And I've been playing Empire War as usual, still trying to see if I can Discord put my overlay through it. Because it used to do that, now it doesn't. Confused. That's why it doesn't.
Generally force it to put the overlay on most things.
Yeah, it used to.
I've had the
run
overlay over like just my browser, and that's suffering.
Yep.
Pro tip: don't put the Discord overlay on your browser.
It doesn't sound particularly nice.
No,
I don't think I've ever used the overlay on anything.
I've got it on at the moment. That's when I can, because I don't have the notification joining sounds on.
Mm.
So it's nice to be able to, hear that people have turned up.
I like when streaming as well, when you're doing a game, so you can actually see who's there.
I was gonna mention that streaming, I could see it being useful.
Yep.
Because I don't directly do that myself.
Especially if you have a single monitor set up, like.
Single
why I
monitor.
use Streamlabs because
Or
it's
single
like
monitor.
rates of things. I can see the chat as well.
You need to be fancy like me and just use a laptop.
Yeah.
Dual monitor,
I'm not actually suggesting this, by the way. I'm just.
large brain dual monitor folk.
I've always thought that having two monitors would really annoy me, though.
How so?
Also, I was disappointed to discover because I'm like sub to Audible still. It's one of the few things I'm still sub to. It's a fairly good deal. Thought, oh, I'll get more audiobooks. Maybe let's get some more Star Wars books to read up on. So I thought I'll check out Outbound Flight because that's the prequel to Thrawn, basically his origins, and like also some other stuff about Jedi and Wars and all that in their little project. It ties into later events and all that. It's an abridged version that's only 6 hours long, so I'm like, fuck's sake.
Only 6
Yeah.
hours. What did he mean by this?
I mean,
For a book.
it's worse for the X-Wing books, because they're abridged to about 2 to 3 hours.
What?
Maybe 4 hours if you're lucky, which is horrendous as far as they're concerned.
I've read some. I think I had a abridged version of Sharp's Rifles. That was weird.
Yeah,
Because
I
I'd
don't
also
like
had
abridged version.
the full version of it, and it's just... It's not so noticeable that bits are missing, but the book ends a lot sooner than you anticipate.
I think that's what people said about Bound Flight, because I was reading up on it to see if it was actually even worth getting. Like, being abridged, people said, nah, I actually so a good part of the ending. Okay, nah, fuck that. The ending is important for stories, as we all know from examples of Mass Effect and other games had terrible endings.
Well, see, I only played Mass Effect games a few years ago, so I never
You didn't
experienced the incomplete
Feel the
ending.
impact of it. Yeah, it was horrible. That was one of the first times I became aware of shitty stories in like games, film stuff. It's like, yeah, this doesn't make sense when you think about it.
Like, I mean, from what I understand, like before they massively updated the ending, it was apparently absolutely.
Oh, it's still
Correct.
bad. It's actually worse with the update, honestly, because
Really?
they highlighted the problems with it basically.
Is this Andromeda?
No, this is
3.
Mass Effect 3, the original
okay.
trilogy.
Yeah,
Andromeda's pretty lame as well. Andromeda's just really mediocre.
Please be
honestly, and
patient,
boring.
I have ordered the game.
But 3 was essentially the example of turd polishing, basically, with the extended cut. They made that bit shitty. So yeah.
Do I want to go and attack that base? Yeah, I think I will.
Also, I'm playing Empire War again because I decided to redo my New Republic playthrough. Because I was getting wrecked yesterday and I discovered what I was doing wrong. Apparently, you have to be very aggressive as the New Republic. Seize territory before the Empire comes down on you, which is sort of
Come
sense.
on.
It's the whole take and hold victory.
Yeah. Because your territory is really shitty at the start of the map.
What's the mod called?
Thrawn's Revenge.
Ah,
So, I'm starting out with the first era, like, the New Republic, because I thought, let's make it simple and familiar first playthrough, so. But yeah, Republic is one of those factions that has a hard start, so. But I'm getting.
I could just use solid pipe, but solid pipe is tedious. Hmm?
Oh, laughing at a comment inside my game. One of the characters said if you looked at the streets, it looks like it's Zombie Pride Day because there's a ton of hordes going around.
Oof.
Which I am currently in the act of running over now.
Correct. This isn't the way you advertise Dodge.
Advertise what? Dodd?
Dodge.
Dodge. Oh. Well, look,
Well,
that was good at
So much
dodging.
for my channel getting monetized anytime soon.
Whoa.
What, running over a bunch of zombies? That's offensive now?
No, just the Charlottesville reference.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't catch that was a reference to that.
I'm still fucking appalled that that guy got fucking prison for murder.
That was so stupid.
I mean, it's... Even if you're not being generous, it's manslaughter. The person who actually...
Being attacked!
That's the thing, like,
With
I've seen the
bats.
footage of it. The person who died didn't even get hit in all of the
Directly
footage
by-
I've seen. I'm not
At
saying
least.
they weren't, you know, probably knocked around, but they weren't, you know, not to the extent that, like, it's been alleged. Because there's a lot of people who, shall we say, in the, less than emphatic areas of the internet, who suggested that she simply just died of being fat. Which is obviously not a productive thing to say on the subject, but it's a case of I've seen the picture of the lady. She was not
Would
in the
not.
best of physical health. If she died of a heart attack due to stress or anything, I would believe it. Obviously, you know, not a good thing. Don't get, you know, nothing like that. I'm not being like, she was fat and died. But all the surrounding stuff with that situation, you know, like the fucking armed mobs in the street, the fact
yeah, they
that
were
the guy was
attacking-
braking like as soon as, you know, he cleared the corner and realised that the traffic in front of him was because there were people in the road. The fact that there was a guy who proudly was saying that he had aimed a rifle at the guy as he was driving past. The 4 or 5 people that, like, hit his car with, like, bats and shit as he was driving past. Tell me that guy was like, yeah, you know what I'll do in this highly stressful situation? I'm going to intentionally try and murder people rather than driving away at speed from people who are trying to kill you. Or at least are giving the impression of trying to kill you. Because why
Well,
else would you
there's
be
been
aiming a rifle at someone in that situation? You
It's
know,
not like people haven't been
else?
killed by mobs but that ripped them out of their cars before.
yeah, that's never happened in that kind of area before. I mean, I've never seen pictures of the LA riots.
Yes,
I've never seen pictures of all the fucking 2016 Trump campaign events, which was that one that was quite popular. It was he white beat his ass. It was those people who literally
Yeah, I was
like,
referencing that
jumped
line
in
while we
front
were
of
playing
an
one of the
old
games.
guy's car in an intersection, pulled him out of his car, beat him up, and then stole his car simply because
GT.
he was white. And it's just like, this is terrible optics, especially by a group claiming that they are being oppressed, like the same individuals, like in that group. And it's just like, this is a terrible optics situation. Imagine being like, hey guys, I know how we can, you know, make our, like, genuine problems, like, you know, more meaningful to the general public. Let's go and
Attack
commit
civilians.
violent crime and rob people.
Yeah, dude, let's just attack random civilians.
Yeah, that's the thing, 'cause it's literally just some guy driving past, and then he got the shit kicked out of him for no other reason than that. And it's just like, and the thing, all this stuff was happening at the same time, and you tell me that that guy went and actively tried to murder that lady that he never even hit with his car.
Oh yeah. Then, but like, just on the topic of those people, you're complaining about, you know, cops being brutal, so you go and attack someone who has nothing to do with the police.
Yeah. It is such a different culture over here. Like, I genuinely think if I would be so out of place if I went to, like, you know, when I go to visit Ash. Because it's just, you know, like, her neighbourhood and my neighbourhood, from what I gather, have pretty similar demographics, but it's so different. Like, you know,
Neighborhoods
like,
of
Ash
the
can
kind that
go
I'm aware of
outside to
living.
get her mail and get people harassing her. I can walk around at 2 in the morning without issue. Because there's no one around. And it's not just the, oh, but you're a guy. So, I mean, there's places nearby where I've had problems, where I've been, you know, like, people throwing bottles and shit at me, because that's always fun. But it's never, you know...
Sleepy Anglo-land.
Yeah, it's pleasant and, you know, not racist. It you know...
Oh, it is.
Well, racists don't have a problem with them.
It's really weird seeing America
really
just
not.
how just kind of different it is.
To be fair, when I step outside, I never have any issues here. And
Oh no, but it's a case I've seen like
not exactly.
like
I don't
Ash's
exactly
area,
live in a
and it's just
high-class place.
because thing, because you know she's been like chatting with me on like the phone while she's like through Discord when she's like walking her dogs and stuff, and I can hear people like catcalling and stuff, and it's not even like, you know.
Yeah, that would be genuinely weird to notice around where I live, and
Yeah.
it's
not like it's, you know, the sort of, you know, I guess faux catcalling in like big inverted commas that like, what was it that, there was a Guardian article by this lady,
no.
and she was just you know, catcalling is terrible, and then like the article a bit later of I miss catcalling. You know, as I get older, it's happens. It's just like, okay, so it's bad or it's not bad. I don't understand.
Oof.
Yes, but it's just like weird. Like, I don't understand what the motivation is. 'Cause it's just like, what's a good way of, you know, attempting to like casually woo a lady in the street? Is it anything that they're doing? Because the answer's probably no.
Oof.
It's just again, it's just such a different culture. It's so strange.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that particularly American. That'd be weird where I live.
Oh yeah, but it's like, you know, that's the perception of it from like a, you know, outside vantage point.
I think it's normal in her type of neighborhood.
Yes, I know, but
The
it's...
projects.
Friend.
Because
Or
you
the
know,
scheme, as it's
I've
called
seen
in
people,
Glasgow.
I've seen people like get heckled around here and stuff, or like catcalled, and it's generally, you know, sort of, for want of a better word, like laddish. It's more just sort of, I don't know, it's at least like vaguely complimentary. It's not just like, hey, white
Yeah,
girl.
it's weird in because in the UK it's not really a racial thing. It's more just a banter thing. Like, like trying to be kind of cool
It's
and
people
friendly, but
being
just really
like-
crudely.
Yeah, it's people trying and failing to, you know, try. as opposed to people trying and failing and just failing. But that's just a theory. What am I doing? That's a good question. What am I doing? Yeah, no, America's weird.
Like I said, they're not exactly a.
Oh, I know
thing
it's not
where-
representative or whatever, but that's this is the outside view of it is not, you know, optimal, shall we say?
Well, okay. I mean, that'd be like saying grenade attacks. Europe's weird.
Well, that's just Sweden. I'm
Well,
pretty sure it's literally
yes.
just Sweden as well, which is kind of
Well, yes,
Mm.
but I'm saying, you know, America's not completely incomparable to
Oh, I know,
the
but
size
it's
of
that
Europe.
thing of when you have, I guess, the media like view on things. When the media
Huh.
is this is happening, it's kind of more, you know, it's what you see and hear about sort of thing. Like I'm sure you've seen loads of stuff on like Twitter recently about the whole, you know, north of England having a lot of very rapey Asians.
I haven't really been using Twitter lately, but I am aware that this has been a long-running.
Oh, it's a long running thing, and the thing is, I think the bit I saw, and I need to watch the video on it, but I didn't want to last night because I was like, I'm going to go to bed. You know what I don't want to do before I go to bed? Watch a video about this topic.
Fair enough.
It was the fact that the police have basically, you know, the police were aware of it happening and let it happen.
I don't want to be called race.
Literally that, and it's just like, I'm sorry, I thought that you were you know, employed for some kind of purpose. What was that again?
Okay, yeah, see, but that's like the kind of thing, like, the idea of the cops actually ignoring that type of thing, that's astonishing here.
Yeah, but wait, it's astonishing here.
Well, yes,
way,
but it happened.
If there is concrete proof of the whole, you know, it came from the top down, from Gordon Brown saying, you know, just leave it alone, don't investigate sort of thing, then there's going to be a lot of people calling for his, you know, fucking imprisonment. There'll probably be a lot more people, you know, quietly calling for some rope and a lamppost. Because imagine the head of your state, as, you know, in terms of political-wise, saying, this group, which is a fairly large collection of society, fuck that section of society. You know, imagine if it was just Trump was like, hey, so we got problems with, you know, like, let's just go give a completely extreme example. Gangs of Canadians are out, you know, like, just attacking, like, Korean people, right?
Oof.
You wouldn't hear, like, Trump being like, it's okay, right, all the police departments just ignore any Canadian on Korean crimes, you know, they've made their decisions, the Koreans, you know, clearly just want this to happen, let it happen sort of thing. And it's just like, oh my god.
I think the crime should be that Canadian.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing, it's like, the people who are actually doing the crimes, they don't get anything. You know, nothing at all. The people being the victims, they get arrested. You know? People are like, oh, but they chose to do it, you know? And it's just like, oh, yeah, because what you do is you get, like, vulnerable, like, fucking kids, and then you basically blackmail them into doing shit. Or just straight up, like, drug them so that they are incapable of fucking doing anything about it. And apparently this is fine, according to our former Prime Minister.
Oof.
Stu, what is it with Scotland producing terrible Prime Ministers?
I I think we
Gordon
had some good
Brown,
ones
Tony
back in
Blair,
the day.
David Cameron.
Well, Scotland has this weird thing in the UK of being like that so-called, well, to be fair, it's mainly Glasgow. The poor, destitute area that has to be propped up, yeah, it's also like the one that receives the most benefits, has laws that protect the natural land in Scotland, Highland, places like that.
That's the thing. It's like
It has very good education, especially in
Yeah.
Edinburgh. Like,
Oh, that's the
it's
thing. Like,
the
a lot of
pioneer
Scotland
fucking
has,
medical
like
science in a lot
good
of
stuff
ways.
going for it. Like that whole thing of I can see why, but I don't quite understand the whole thing of Scotland provides water for free
Mhm.
because it's seen as a human right, despite the fact that it's. I was watching a video on this earlier. I think that Short for Otaku did. The whole thing of there's like natural rights and then there's derived rights, and the right to access to water is a derived right, but the right to water cannot be a human right. Because, you know, you have a natural right, you know, you can go and like take a drink from a stream, but getting it like piped to your house is not the same.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing, if you have a right to access to medical care, but you don't have a right to medical care. Because, you know, should like any doctor just treat you? That seems, you know.
Well, the weird thing about what you say, Scottish PMs, Scotland educates a lot of some of the political elite for some, because again, it has really well.
Canberra also has a lot of big private schools up there.
Yeah, that's I think the main reason. But I don't know if you could call these people Scottish exactly. A lot of them.
I know, but they are people who claim to be Scottish at least.
I think they do that just to be like, I'm Scottish. I'm from a privilege. You know,
I'm from Scotland, don't you know?
Yeah, yeah, basically, so they can be like, I'm with the street, yo, kind of thing. But they're not really proper Scottish people, to be honest. Maybe technically they are, but they're also not really.
Stu just dabbing on the Scots over here.
There's
Scotland's
plenty
not
of,
really Scottish.
There's plenty of officers and like posh people in Scottish military regiments and stuff that come from them. So.
Oh yeah, but
like Simon Mann, he was in the Scots Guard, and so was a lot of his family. So you could sort of say he's Scottish, even though he's not.
well, yeah, but it's more the thing of, you know, it's that thing of when they do good things, they're Scottish. When they do bad things, they're English or British.
Well, they did the same thing with Murray in tennis, though, except
Oh,
the
yeah.
inverse. So when he loses, he's Scottish. When he wins, he's British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello there.
But he is genuinely like Scottish. You can tell.
Oh yeah.
Talks and stuff.
Well, it's like David Tennant.
Oh yeah, Jed. He is the most Glaswegian man you'll see next to like thankyou and other people. When he talks normally, it's hilarious. So he's such a good actor. Yeah.
Shakespearean actor. Is this a dagger I see before me?
Yeah. The Scottish.
Yeah, give us your wallet.
Give us years.
But yeah, no, if it does come out that Gordon Brown was legitimately behind that, then so many people. If nothing happens to them, it will be a bigger democratic issue than when all of Parliament was going, hey, you know that thing that people voted us to do, and that we said we'd do, and we're not going to do? Like, it's on more part of that, because
so
the
lads,
politicians
you know how the death penalty is illegal.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, the whole thing of like people being difficult about Brexit. It's like, yeah, that's people's personal views of they wanted to Remain, so they're pushing for more Remain stuff. But you don't push for more paedophiles.
This is what the second.
Right? That's not an understandable or a defensible position as far as I'm
Stay
concerned.
strapped or get clapped. George Washington, 1776.
Don't know what Gordon Brown's doing these days. It says here he withdrew from the elections 2015, so I guess he's not an MP anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's still part of the party at Labour.
Oh, it's a load of... Is it... No, Alistair Campbell. Well, I think Alistair Campbell is Scottish, but it's the... Who was Corbyn's right-hand man? Who was
John McDonnell.
John
Yeah,
McDonnell,
he's a
who's
lunatic.
the fucking Marxist.
Yeah, he's a literal Scottish Marxist. It's hilarious
Yeah.
and terrifying.
I like that you have... I say you have... You're, a Northern Angloid as opposed to a Scottoid at this point. At least by, like, location. The whole Scottish National Party, not racist.
Yeah. Nah, Scottish politics is pretty bad.
Nationalism's
because everyone-
bad. Patriotism's bad, but come and join the SNP.
Yeah, well,
The National
Independence is
Socialist
bad.
Party.
Come and join the SNP.
Didn't she say that if she named the party, it wouldn't have national in it?
yeah.
The Scottish Party.
Yeah, pretty
Wow,
much.
guys.
That's,
I think
that
the
doesn't
most
sound
annoying-
Orwellian in the slightest.
The most annoying thing about the Scottish politicals at the minute is it's basically what Naka was saying. Pretty much most of Scotland voters are just NPCs, basically. Just kind of go along the whole.
It's because
Oh,
there's
we'll
no.
vote for the
It's because they
Scottish
don't want to vote
National
for the
Party,
Conservatives. Because why would you vote for the Conservatives? Because they're Scottish. Or they're the other part of Scotland which only votes for the Conservatives, apparently.
Yeah.
Or they vote for the SNP or Labour because they're not the Conservatives. This whole negative angle politics is always tiresome to me because it's the whole thing of well, I don't want Trump or Hillary to get elected. Better vote for the other one, and it's just like that's not a reason to vote.
Well, to be fair, if you have, I actually would say it is a reason to vote to go for the one you like better.
Oh no, but that's the thing. It's not the one you like better. It's which one you don't like the least, which isn't the same. At least from a
get what
optics angle. Like
I
if you
get
go,
what you're saying,
I
but
prefer
agree.
Bernie's politics to Trump's politics for the 2020 one, then yeah, that's understandable. But if you go, well, Trump's politics is shit, so I'm gonna vote for Bernie, isn't,
Protest voting.
is it protest voting?
Partially.
I can understand the protest voting if it was you vote for a libertarian or a third party. That would be more protest voting. Or if you live in a blue state and you vote red, or if you live in a red state and you vote blue.
What I was gonna say is, if you're of, say, the Republican Party, but you're, never Trump, then.
So you're mainly opposed to lazy protest voting, essentially.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing of I know people who which one was it? I'm trying which party it was now. But it's the whole thing of the the Brexit party was just a protest vote. That's all it became. And according to that election we just had, voting for the Brexit party was literally just a protest vote, and barely anyone even did that. So it's an odd one.
True.
Oh, that mine's done.
No, it has its function.
Oh, it does, but it's that thing of but having that as the sole reason that you vote for a person is because they're not the other person.
Oh, yeah.
It's not endearing for your, view on politics. Oh, why do you vote for this guy? Because the other guy's awful. Alright, that's the whole people going, we need to get rid of Boris, so vote for Corbyn. And it's okay, why would I vote? Why do you want me to vote for Corbyn? Oh, because he's not Boris. No. Why do you want me to vote for Corbyn?
Right. So it's essentially the problem of kind of continuing the cycle rather than trying to break the cycle.
Yeah, it's the why don't we vote for better politicians rather than different shit ones?
Yeah.
You're not going to improve the system by supporting the system. It's that whole thing of people going, I keep pre-ordering these games and they keep turning out to be shit and I'm wasting my money. Well, have you considered?
That's a lot.
Oof.
What can I do with plastic? There's basically nothing you can just do with plastic in this game, as I've realised, having built a plastics refining plant.
But, you know, luckily you won't have that problem. Raid Shadow Legends!
It looks an interesting enough game, like, legitimately, but, I'm gonna get some
bad for a
grades.
mobile game.
It's a good time sink, that's what I'd say about it.
Have you played it then, Stu?
Yeah, it's if you've played something like Galaxy Heroes or whatever before, it's very similar to that.
Yeah,
There's a term for like a gacha game or something, which I'm
Ah,
guessing is
yeah.
a weeb thing. Like, so it's
That's
like
what,
a kind of grindy hero
Grim and Doom
collection
play
game.
You,
Alright, so I
Like,
have
and
my...
if you've got nothing to do and your phone's out, it's like, yeah, I'm waiting for a bus. I'll play a bit of Raid Shadow Legends kind of thing.
Well, I've, you know, made my probable Swedish ancestors proud. I've
Well, I
gone
just
thrown
flushed
a
my
grenade
head
into a
one
public place.
Oof.
you will
Taking
feel
it.
very at home.
I've got good armor on.
modern Viking funeral. You just get blown up by a grenade.
Or a Molotov.
Oof. Oh yeah, did you see that, the one I posted yesterday, the little miniature armoured, like, bulldozer that's basically like an armoured cherry picker?
Ah,
For, like,
yes.
breaching and stuff, and it's just like, someone posted the picture of the back of it, was just, and this is where the Molotov goes.
Yep.
Because it is... So the back of this vehicle, which is meant to be as like a riot control vehicle, you know, it's meant to be like
Oh,
a
riot control.
like right, you know, like a you know, it's a in like a, you know, high stakes situation vehicle. That's, you know,
Yeah.
you don't just deploy this to get like a cat out of a tree sort of thing.
Not
Right.
exactly. No.
So this thing that's, you know, all like tactical and everything, and it's got like a dark grey paint job and all that. And what they've done is they've left all the hydraulics on the back of it completely exposed. Which basically means that anybody with like a good swing of a bat could potentially like disrupt or break them. Anyone with bolt cutters could just, you know, cut through them probably, depending on the strength of the hydraulic lines obviously. And anyone who has any kind of projectile incendiary device, which I would not encourage, by the way. None of this is encouragement. This is literally just me going, who designed this badly for this situation? That's like going, right, we've made ourselves a new battle tank, and what we've done to make it easier for the drivers, we've made the front entirely out of untempered glass. So you can see out really well. You know, that's... No, what could go
happened
wrong?
to cameras?
Yeah, but what you do instead is right. Is you put a really dangerous design flaw quite obviously. That's, you know, that's the incentive here.
Yeah, because I found a channel recently talking about everything wrong with like fictional vehicles, and he did like Star Wars, and he started 40k, did the Imperial Guard
Oh.
vehicles and so forth. In the Star Wars one, he mentioned that I think one of the droid tank has the only way you can see out of it, because there's no vision ports in the cupola, is to open the hatch out as a B1
Oh, is this like the AAT or what?
Yeah, the AAT, and it's like, you know, it would have been better if you just put cameras and stuff. The driver has cameras, but also the driver has no backup vision ports, so if the camera die, then he's... It's like... it's sort of so badly designed. And I think he was talking about that with the Imperial Guard as well, and other flaws,
Yeah.
mainly the ammunition storage.
To be fair, in both of these cases, they're not too concerned about losing a few people.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the droid one, that was like, yeah, it's droids, they're meant to be really cheaply produced.
Same thing with Imperial Guardsmen.
Now, isn't that thing of if you shoot a guardsman's power pack, it can explode with in 40k? Because it's basically just like a lithium-ion battery type thing.
Oh, dude. Could be quite interesting if you're a cold shot build. Shoot someone's grenade.
Yeah.
I think I've had
Like
that as
Fallout
a
Vats, yeah.
as like a result. at one point where it was the I've fucked that up. Sulfur, water and petrol. No, it's just water and petrol, okay. Morning, Ash.
Here.
Ash.
I am slowly becoming more awake, despite having been awake for several hours. Don't question it.
Been awake for like 1.5.
Casual.
I actually got up at a reasonable time this morning, so that was good. And I actually did some labour, which made me feel good. So I don't know. I always feel refreshed when I do a bit of labour, like the rest of the
Doing stuff is good for you,
Yep.
mentally and physically.
Like cutting down
allegedly.
tree branches, clipping them.
Yeah, I did some of that in my job. I need to keep an eye on the bin calendars, so I can get it all gotten rid of now that I've cut the trees down.
Blue.
So the majority of my power grid, just about, is the solar panel, which is productive. And I'm doing sulfur processing because I kind of get why they split this up into smaller categories, but it's also inconvenient.
Oof.
What's the production rate? So 100 crude makes 45 petrol. What's the next stage of the refinery? It's 100 crude makes 55 petrol, 45 light oil, and 25 heavy oil. Damn, that's better. Like, significantly better. I need to get that. What do I need for blue science? I need to start making engine plants. Ah, shit. I'm also trying to do the thing where I'm trying not to make my base too dense, because I need to be able to put the robot towers in eventually. So I might just have to shuffle things around, but that's inconvenient. So I'm probably just going to make smaller, narrower bits of base. And space things out well. Oh, excuse me. There's a lot of stuff happening in the bakery today, I'm noticing. I'm getting a pretty continuous, like, notification.
Yeah, you had loads of Discord pings gone.
Are those... Oh yeah, I'm guessing the Discord ping is audible, but the it doesn't come up on the stream.
I haven't
Yeah,
been
audible.
So you can't see what it is, but you can hear it. Yay.
Also, click the link below to get a free trial for Audible and get your first book free.
Just kidding. That's a link to Raid Shadow Legend.
Yes. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, there's a lot of sponsorship on YouTube these days.
Well, it's because YouTube doesn't do ads as much anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they monetize the platform for everyone but most of the creators. I'm pretty sure most of YouTube's views is still, like, the not the minority of the channels. Because, yeah, you've got the people who pull in millions of views, but it's still...
I do feel like it's... Maybe there's something I'm missing, and there's, like, some stupid trick you have to do, but I feel like trying to become more popular on YouTube and make a thing of it is very, very difficult these days. Maybe because there's too many people already on the platform or something. But...
Well, that's the thing, they used to have advertising, and it's not like the channel's gotten that much bigger, it's just they've been made to be more accountable for things that other people do using their platform. Which I guess they've got to do something about, but it's still... It seems heavy-handed.
All their excuses would make a bit more sense if instead of you know, if they just, well, because they'll still demonetize some channels, but still leave ads on, just the creator doesn't get any.
Yeah, that's the thing I've seen. It's like,
You know, stuff.
like when
Yeah.
put this way, if you ever see a advert on a thankyou video, skip it. Like, don't let them have the ad revenue.
Well, I use ad blocker anyway, so
Yeah,
because I
for-
just presume the channel's demonetized I'm watching, so it doesn't matter.
That is
Yeah,
most of the
for
channels I
years
watch.
now.
Within at least the, you know, political sphere of YouTube. Because I like, you know, I like to keep up with what's going on. But there's also the other side of YouTube, which is like, you know, the like creative stuff, artsy stuff, you know. Restoration YouTube is a massive thing. You want to see a guy fix something? There's thousands of those videos. Right, so if I want to get blue science, I need to get a lot of other stuff done. So I'm going to start over here. Now, I'm not suggesting I need to start a forest fire, but it might save me some time. So yeah, to make that science, I'm going to need... Oh god, that's a big-ass piece of forest. I've got to cut that all down by hand. Or pollution it to death. Actually, I just need iron to do this bit. Grumble. Mining productivity seems like a reasonable thing to research. And then afterwards I'm going to start going down the explosives tree so I can get the cliff explosives and finally tidy up my base. But yeah, if anyone has any questions on what I'm doing in the game, why I'm doing it, do let me know, because I've been playing this for... Ooh, I want to say 2015? 2016? At least 4 years. Let's go with that. And after that much time, you know, you get just sort of used to stuff. Like, I don't really think about what I'm doing in Ark anymore. I just sort of do it.
Do do
Do do do do do do do do do do do. So I'm gonna leave a bit of space there so my robot towers along that line, because I can't remember how big they are. I could work it out, but I'm also very lazy. I'm just trying to keep my thing in like little... I'm pointing at the screen, that's not helpful. Like slices, basically. Have you built trains yet? No. Because trains are suffering to build without robots. Then again, to be fair, everything is suffering to build without robots, but trains particularly because I like to make them in blocks, so you can get consistent, you know, size, proportioned, all that stuff. Because I make train networks, I don't just make single tracks. And that requires certain amounts of, you know, not balking it up. Do I include space for those two branches to go through? I probably should, as they are there. Also, I'm going to run... I've got to run plastic somewhere around this base. Because plastic is currently over here. If I run it that way, and run it across the top, maybe? Or run it around the outside? Or run it around that side? I've got to get plastic over here. I could add it to that side, I guess. Not sure. So assuming I leave space for plastic and for sulfur, although to be fair, the refinery things. Sorry, I have another save that's currently going with Bossalot, and I've been doing stuff on there that's been working quite nicely. So I'm trying to replicate it where I can. Because a lot of this game is just build the same factory in a different environment. Because, you know, the way that stuff works is consistent, even if the landscape isn't. Brain. Brain. Engine plant, that's the thing I need to do right now. So I need cogs.
Hey, you've been streaming 2 hours.
And 16 minutes. The point I've not had my phone back on the Wi-Fi potentially. No, it is. Okay. So I'm expecting a message from someone at some point. And I'm hoping it's going to be a slightly more notice message than I'm here. Because those are always useful.
Yeah.
So that's... Yep, that's me. Engines. Then I need the pipe factory, the other side. I need the inlet for the pipe factory. And then in a little bit I will have to make all of the perimeter fence extend around the expanded bit of factory, because that will be fun. Although once we've got an engine plant in place I can start doing, in theory, just making trains, because hey, I'll have all the bits to do it with.
Choo choo.
Just gonna put that over there. That was 5 and 6. Now recopy that. Having the turret assembly thing, I should just make a blueprint, but I'm lazy. So that's the output. In theory, the output should go out this side. That makes sense. Do that, Skog. That will be productive and save you time later. Imagine being productive and saving time later. What a chump. Everything's got to take longer. That's the point of these games. It's playing an efficiency game too efficiently has the disadvantage of you run out of game. That's a thing.
Hello, Ben.
Hello there.
Hello. Is this a stream?
It is.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I could feel the N-word bubbling forth.
You have been
don't worry,
ambushed.
we already talked about Pakistani rape gangs, so...
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, it's
I mean,
not, but
Asian
it's,
rape gangs.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't,
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
remember
yeah.
anything about Pakistanis. That's what I was gonna
It's
say.
clearly just the
That's another thing.
Chinese, you know.
Yeah,
The Koreans.
it's all those hardworking Japanese people you've imported.
Yeah, like...
You know, the ones with a respectful culture. No, wait, it's not them.
What a time to be alive. Not for Gordon Brown soon, hopefully.
Hopefully not.
It's fine, he just, you know, sanctioned it, essentially. You know, did what any you know, right-thinking Prime Minister and/or like Lord of the Exchequer would have done.
Well, he also sold gold to the Chinese.
Oh yeah, he sold the gold gold when it was worth the least. It's like going,
Fucking
hey,
leftist prick.
this thing that literally is pretty much infinite in its, you know, age. We should get rid of it while it's, you know, not worth much, because the gold prices are clearly never going to go back up.
Literally the most stable currency in the universe, besides food and bullets.
Generally speaking, about the kind of like the basis of currency.
Yeah, just imagine being like, well, gold is clearly never going to become more valuable, so we might as well just get rid of it.
Even though it's almost unprecedented for it to drop in value.
No, but it's, you know, clearly gold was done, you know, gold was over, you know, crap
Gold
rate
is
plays.
overrated. We need to move on. Move
Like
to the
the
social credit score.
So that's, you know, that's what you want
Future is
the,
now.
you know, the person in charge of your country's finances to do, is to sell all of your gold, probably in like a small envelope labelled "Cash My Gold." It's probably one that Stu might get more than anyone else, but
Oh, hell yeah.
We
remember,
just
cash
really
for
needed
gold.
those coins for Raid Shadow Legend.
Yeah,
That's yeah, I remember there used to be ads for that all the time around here.
that was all going around, so he saw that he could get, you know, 10,000 gold on Raid Shadow Legends.
Got a cash in, lads.
Well, clearly the main problem must have been the gold was too big and heavy and expensive to store.
Oh, yes.
So, you know,
It really weighed down all those buildings it was
yeah,
stored in.
you know, you don't need
Yeah.
gold.
All those buildings that were already made.
Yes. Gotta be more efficient, lads.
I'm pretty sure I can't remember which documentary thing I saw it on, but there was something I saw where it's just they have the problem of subsidence with like some of the like very old banking buildings, because their vaults are so big and heavy that the building is sinking into the ground. And they've had to like inject concrete under the floors and stuff occasionally just to try and buoy it back up again.
Now that's a good building.
Or I think one of them was they had to separate like the basement off from like the sub-basement so that the sub-basement stops sinking quite so fast. Just dumb stuff like that where it's like, what? Oh, okay. Imagine your building having literally so much gold in it that it sank.
Oy vey.
Just,
I can't keep all my gold these people.
what's the thing?
Jews in
It's
hell
basically the
want
modern
peace.
equivalent of going, huh, Bitcoin just crashed. Well, guess I'll get out of Bitcoin. Bitcoin will never get more valuable again. Oh, it's now worth $10,000 now.
The thing of it's currently a very unstable currency. But
So what you want to do is you want to sell it when it hits its lowest point.
oh yeah, like a fucking intellectual.
Like, if I've learned anything from economics, it's sell when it's not worth anything.
Yes. All I'm saying is Pol Pot might have had some good points.
Bitcoin, very good. Pol Pot, 1960 whatever.
Invest in Bitcoin.
Trust the Bitcoin, it is a great currency.
Indian
You know,
Pol
Pol,
Pot.
yeah, I was going to say, Pol Pot was
He's not Indian, I know.
Cambodian, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
being very racist. That's all.
Oh, I knew it was on purpose.
Out reporting.
Oh.
Out reporting on the economy.
The Americans
My
are
name is
having a
Pol
bad
Pot.
time.
Bitcoin is running low.
I wonder if I could stream Rising Storm now.
Our currency is running from the battlefield.
Who wants to play Rising Storm?
Kind of do,
Fuck yeah.
just not right now.
Ska.
Skog reporting.
Please. I'm lonely.
It's so funny when you're playing as the North Vietnamese, and you can hear the enemy's commander in the other side of the bunker, where you are the northern commander, and you can hear them calling in radio coordinates as you sit there and just.
I am now scout. I must report in.
and then you deploy your entire reserve inside the command bunker. And then they walk around the corner. I think I have genuinely just sort of quietly snuck past the enemy commander into the bunker behind him on the burn zone. Gone inside, picked up an M1 Garand, come back outside and killed him. Because that's the Chad move. Not only do you kill the enemy commander, you embarrass them.
Bang, 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 bang,
Ping! It goes, it goes, it goes, it goes. Bing! Yeah, good times. Rising Storm is good fun. But, I don't know if I can stream it, is the issue.
I know Stu has.
I mean, I probably
Oh,
can,
yeah.
but it's just the... I don't know. Effort king. I want cliff explosives, so let's start exploring the explosives tree of the research. I'm pretty sure Discord, when you're on streamer mode, isn't meant to keep giving you all the dings. I might need to go and review the settings, because damn, that's a lot of dings.
What have you been getting dings from?
Did you accidentally
bakery.
turn off streamer mode?
Did you say the bakery? I haven't been
Yeah.
getting pings from it. Did you turn it to where you get every post a ping?
I mean, apparently. I don't remember doing that, but that's what it is doing.
Maybe there's a channel, like one meetup channel or something? I don't know.
No, it's meme dumping. I know of that channel because I've been invited to it, but I don't know where it is because I've never seen it. It's one of those things, if I know it exists, but that's it.
I'm pretty sure it would just be somewhere lower on the list.
Oh yeah, Spyro asked me if I wanted to come.
I don't tend to pay much attention to that channel because it's not really relevant to where I live.
Yeah, I'm just gonna... Notification settings.
I'm pretty sure I just have it where I get, pings for @ here and @ everyone, and
That might have fixed it.
and of course @ me, and
It ain't me. It ain't me. No, I do hope that Gordon Brown gets a crab rave soon. I mean, Tony Blair needs one
Mitch
as well.
crab rave.
No, I do like that our, pretty much universally held, war criminal is still just doing everything in his power to fuck with our country.
Ah yes, Tony Blair.
We
It's
just can't trust random with things like this.
we're just gonna trust,
We don't
this.
know what.
No,
he
there's no evidence of weapons of mass destruction,
All-
and we have
all I'm
no real
saying is-
ties to this conflict. But what I'm saying is, we should go and join in because it seems like a good idea.
All I'm saying is, back in the day, you guys had the right idea of how to deal with those types of politicians.
Ah yes, the Scots. What am I doing? That's a good question. I'm going and getting plastic and sulfur and other exciting minerals. I'm also trying to allow space for expansion later on, which is difficult because I don't know how much space I need. But yeah, Discord should be a bit quieter now. I guess, whatever research should I do? Stack inserters should be handy. What am I doing? That's a good question. What am I doing? I'm making conveyor belts to export materials. Because that's what most of this game is. There we go. I need gears and circuit boards again. I'm looking forward to having robots that will help me with this.
I do like that apparently one guy runs the whole Factorio cell.
It's all automated. It's all really basic automation. It's just loads of it. That's why the robotic stuff is quite pleasant, because it suddenly means that you have a lot more freedom to just get on with stuff. I need stone. Well, I think for now I'm just going to be lazy. And I will tunnel underneath this small patch of water. Because that makes sense. It's clearly a very deep tunnel.
Oof.
Or very shallow water, at which point... several questions. Stu, do you want to plug your game for tonight? Better than I did earlier.
I guess. So, basically, after last week, where the power suddenly cut off after an hour in, we're coming back to finish what was started. So yeah, tonight we're playing Only War on my channel, not Swamp Plays Game, because...
That shit is fucking bootleg, yo.
Yeah, basically. It's just better on my channel. Apparently more people watch on my channel as well, so that's better. And so yeah, tune in tonight where we'll see if the squad can survive assaulting Hill 59, or they die, or they don't die, or something in between. So
Or your power cuts off. Again!
Yeah, that'd be a twist, wouldn't it? Oof. I do like how the power cut out like as soon as the las cannon hit. Link for it. So.
Yeah, that's going to apparently hit the local substation.
Yeah, I know.
Oh shit, guys, the enemy's breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
No! They've broken through!
We cannot win! Run!
Literally sabotaging us through the fourth wall.
We need new
Then we'll
internet.
play-
This one's dead.
Oof.
Just bomb
Where's
out
the
his-
cable runner?
Quick, someone stop that remain. V. I still like that picture Ritualist did of him just sitting in the dark going, I shouldn't have stolen all that copper.
Oof. Ash the Fash is playing Bayonetta on Steam. Okay. With a controller of all things in big picture mode. What?
I still love how. Still absolutely adore that image of Ritualist pickpocketing V.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a strong
V
aesthetic.
just looks completely oblivious as well.
Thing is, they had met online, but obviously Ritualist isn't very, you know, facey.
Oof.
In that, you know, he just doesn't have his face attached to stuff.
Yeah.
But so it's just like, hello, person, I don't know who you are. The optics of this
Right,
situation are suboptimal.
There he is.
Can you link me that picture? Because I can swear I've seen it, but I'm not sure.
It's on.
Let me
I can't
find
remember
it.
if it's on Skog or Nuck's channel.
Which picture?
Well, the whole meetup thing.
Oh, the meetup stuff is... Ritualist has a lot of it on his channel on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's where it is.
Because he did lots of footage while he was there. What am I...
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't find the image at this moment.
Is this the same meetup that had the playground thing that wasn't
yes.
really a thing?
Yes,
until after
the one that was
the
literally
ice
not a
bit.
thing. No one
Until
there
people
thought it was a
made-
thing. People who didn't go thought it was a thing.
That apparently was a big deal because some drunk guy held up a flag on top of a playground thing.
Yeah.
Because that's...
I'm not gonna lie, you know, I'm sure, like, the nearby, you know, adults were just being like, fucking idiots type of thing. But they weren't being like, oh my god, you're endangering my children with your...
Well, to make like a moral issue out of it, I mean, you know, at worst it was really cringy.
Yeah, like, oh, that it was, don't get me wrong, but
I mean, it was, but also it was nothing worse than that.
imagine dying of cringe. Be pretty bad, wouldn't it? Am I
It's a
right?
pretty bad way to go.
You cringe so hard your spine falls out.
It's why I stay out of the swamp and also don't let PR most of the time have it low volume.
Oh yeah.
Because every time he opens his mouth,
So
a
fucking
cringe
cringy.
zaps away at me. It's
Sorry, who
Yeah.
does?
Jurg.
Oh. Still never met him.
oh, I still
You're
love the
unfortunate.
fact that he had the worst build of a space.
Oh yeah, the fucking heavy
How do
weapon
you fuck up being a
specialist.
space marine?
A heavy weapon specialist as well. That could not pierce Tau armor.
Oh,
The head.
Like that shot wouldn't have killed a guardsman. That wouldn't have killed a lot of grot, actually. It was so bad.
my face one.
It was mildly more effective than punching it.
Oh no, I think punching it would have been
Oh
more
no!
effective
A
due to the sheer
space marine
space
punching
marine.
it would have done way more damage than the gun, yeah.
Like the only good thing about his setup is that he's got accurate and toxic.
Yep.
Yeah, wasn't
But
the...
he doesn't know how his bonuses work, so his chance to hit isn't even that. Thus, not really triggering toxic that much or
Yeah.
accurate.
I seem to remember someone telling me that at one point in the old, like, Warhammer RPG games, that a Space Marine in regular setting was so powerful that what they could do is they could pull the pin from a grenade, throw the pin, kill whoever they were aiming it at, eat the grenade, and then be fine. I think they may have been exaggerating slightly, but it's still...
Somehow.
I can probably calculate that, but I can't answer right now.
Yeah, I mean they could usually eat a frag grenade quite easy.
but why?
Rule of
Yeah, it's the exaggeration of Lamau. Hold my
Look
pin.
at how big this boy is, Lamau.
Oh lord, he coming.
Oh,
Oh lord, he coming.
well, I mean, you know, earlier I think you discovered your factory can survive having grenades going off in it.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
pressed the wrong button, accidentally threw a grenade in my factory rather than putting it inside the factory.
Oh, was it just one?
Yeah, just one. Grenades do a lot of splash. Who'd have thunk it?
Big splat.
And yeah, I
Flashy
am
boys.
using low efficiency power lines in terms of space because I need to use the wood. Yeah, I hope the chat is having a nice time. If you have any questions or anything, do let me know. I am just kind of getting on with it quietly while we talk about the stuff at this point, because that's generally what ends up happening. I'm completing a blue science factory for the construction of blue science.
Oh yeah, don't forget to get the sanguinary cup if you for the Deathwatch thing.
What? Oh, is that still
What?
is there more of that happening, or?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, okay, cool, that's good.
Yeah.
I was concerned I had missed all of it being a one-shot.
Well, I was expecting a one-shot, like, there's a room, corridor, Doom-style level full of enemies.
I mean,
Yeah,
that would have
same.
been pretty cool, to be honest, but...
I was very underwhelmed by that prospect, but no, it was a full-on, like, choose-your-own-adventure kind of thing. Little object, do you want to go first on the plan? It's like, okay,
That's pretty cool.
we could be like the Desert Raiders of old.
Oh
and
yeah,
space-
like so far we've just opted to use Mujahideen tactic, or just like World War II Desert Fox tactics.
But don't have to worry about logistics because we're Marines. Great.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to protect this new, like, tumorous growth on my base. So it just sticks out.
There's There is a weird thing I've noticed in the Deathwatch rules. Regular ammunition, you're just presumed to have enough of it, which is a weird rule.
Oh yes, the fucking
Space
Marine
has
Rectum
storage.
portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that thing in the Deathwing game where you always just have ammo despite
Yep.
not having any pockets?
Yeah. Even
Also-
though the books, like especially the Horus Heresy books, always mention multiple times he was down to his last 2 mags bolts.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, bolter magazines are massive.
I
If
know.
you've got a 30-round magazine that's got, you know, basically 1-inch shells in it, and even if they're stacked, that's a big magazine.
A thick boy.
Like, the sheer volume alone of shells. Like, if you had it as just a straight, flat stick mag, it'd be nearly 3 feet long. Just imagine the unwieldiness of that. Jesus, that bloody tripod. Right, at the moment they're in the game, oil is plentiful. I am not using much of it. All is well-ish. How do I make cliff explosives? With explosives, empty barrels, and grenades. How do I make explosives? I use coal, sulfur, and water. I could make an explosives factory. That'd be fairly easy. Yeah, well, it's nearly 3 hours, so stream is being streamish and successful, I guess. In that it's still going. I've explored a much larger area of the map now with my satellites, scanners, whatever you want to call them. They look like satellite uplink things, but they're not. I don't know. I don't question it, it works. Let's go with that. So there's more oil over here if I need it. I might use a train for that one eventually. There's a bunch of material here that I'll probably get a train for. Braining. Got plenty of uranium around, so I can get nuclear power pretty soon. I need to start efficiency chips, though. That's one of the things that I shall require. I am honoured that you require my skills. I need to stop doing random lines from tech priests. Especially without context. What do you require?
What do you require?
Do you like the music of Shewadi?
I will ease the machine's suffering.
It is as though 1,000 mouths cry out in pain.
Oofed.
For the Emperor.
I have awoken.
Even in death, I still suffer.
Even in death, I still suffer.
Yeah. And even in death, I still surf.
Yeah, I was listening to
Bruh. Oh god, it's like the dark Eldar character.
Oh god.
Dude.
Bruh.
Yes, so we've got Stu's game tonight in approximately 4 hours.
Probably
we also
4.5,
have my game on the Wednesday at 7 GMT-ish. All going well, and me not having sudden work that gets in the way. I gather Ash is intending to be streaming some more if she gets time. What else is there that happens that we do?
Don't forget about Nuka's drunk stream on Saturday.
Yeah,
That was yesterday.
Yes.
but me, I'm doing that again.
Do it again, Bomber
So there's a huge open space up here with not too much cliff in it that I could probably use to expand the base. As the south is resources, the north is empty space and water. But yeah, so the new part of the factory, if anyone was asking questions but not actually phrasing them in the chat because they either don't have a YouTube account and have not got the ability to comment, or are lazy and or are wanting to hear me say things. So the iron comes in, gets turned into cogs. Engines need cogs, steel and pipes. Steel comes in here, pipes come in there, and then the output there. Very, very detailed and exciting.
Oh hell yeah.
I make most of my factories in blocks of 6 because it's convenient for power lines. That's about the only reason I do it in 6s. In theory it could be any multiple of 2 for convenience, but any number works. I'm just particular and habitual. Next one is the red circuit boards. I think they're called something that isn't just red. Okay, advanced circuits. Hello, Mega Saban. Hello, Surprise X. Braining. Yeah, copper wire, PCBs, extra plastic and extra copper wire, better PCBs. These go together to make science, bitch. Chemical science, in fact. Very exciting. Very exciting. Starting to stockpile. Supply is almost outstripping demand. Or rather, the other thing. So, it's 6 seconds and 24 seconds. So in theory, I can catch up and stay caught up eventually. As the requirement is, this can make every 18 seconds what this needs every 24 seconds. As long as it's adequately supplied. Which kind of does make the branch there kind of superfluous. But never mind. I could probably put that so it goes at the other side, make it a bit more space efficient, but hey, I didn't. How can I say? I am. It's as, you know, as little as I'm actually doing at the moment. This is quite pleasant. You know, the tidiness, you know, the functionality, the logical progression, it's all there. Imagine knowing how to spell consistent only. Dyslexia gang. Gang. I need more cogs. I conveniently...
That didn't sound like
Yeah.
you said cogs.
Yeah, it didn't.
gears.
Pinions.
Yeah, that came out very poorly.
Pointy metal turny things.
Angry wheels.
Wait, I didn't say angry wheels. Get that shit away
They
from
have
me.
teeth.
Excuse me.
Like birds.
Birds aren't real, Ben. You've been lured into
Why
a
do they
trap.
watch me through my window at all times?
Yeah, that's a good
They
point.
see you while you sleep.
They report to the FBI. I don't like that.
Ooh. Ugh, excuse me. I have no
I
idea
do
how
love
much sleep I
watching
got.
CIA birds fighting Pentagon birds.
And there's the NSA birds just watching from the corner. It's kind of sad though when their cameras mess up and you get things like I occasionally see of like the pigeon just dangling from the anti-pigeon spikes by its foot because it can't flap its way up again.
Oof.
It's like, I
What's
would
that?
feel bad if it wasn't the fact that pretty much all the pigeons in the town square are fucking horrible abominations.
They're rats. Rats with wings.
Rats without feet, in some cases.
Oh yeah, those, they are fucking quite something.
Like, there's ones that I've seen that where the pigeon has no toes on either foot. And it's just
What
like,
the?
huh.
Peg
Or like
legs.
the ones that are just missing entire legs, and it's just like, how does this happen? Like, how are you missing this much of yourself and are still just trundling around being that fat? It is literally survival of the there's chips.
Uh-oh.
Just imagine natural selection turns off for a while because food is so plentiful that all like the special needs birds survive.
Imagine just modernity.
Oh yeah, the pigeon that doesn't even try and flap and just jumps off the ledge as Piano Man plays.
Yeah, he's realized there's
Doom a
no
pigeon.
pigeon challenges left for his little pigeon life.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sort out this new module factory, then I'm going to jump out for now and potentially do something different or eat lunch. Might go of eating lunch, that sounds pretty good right now. I could go and cook, that'd be good. Have fun, Mega Saber.
Bye.
When he's like, I'll be back in a bit, I'm like, but the stream's ending. So yeah, all my carefully built, slowly built defensive structures, and then there's the new expansion to my base that's just pollution and no wall. But that's fine, because it's all outside the perimeter fence. The perimeter fence can hold. Hopefully. What do I need to do to progress further? Trains, that's what I need.
Of course, Skog needs more trains.
I'm just trying to think. So, I want to get uranium processing pretty quickly because I want to get what's it called? Stuff. I also want to get robots pretty quickly. Because the thing is, with uranium processing, I get clean power all the time without massive amounts of space. Because you can get clean power without nuclear, because you just use solar powers and massive battery farms. But suboptimal.
I'm just a humble battery farmer.
Farming my batteries. Yeah, I'm gonna need to make a what's it called? A electric motor plant. For that I'm gonna need pipe lubricant a really long way. But it's fine, because it will be really slippery in the pipes, so it won't take as long. Tap's head. Sliding into the pipes like. Right, not going to do any more research for now. I'm going to start slowly decommissioning these so I can upgrade them. Good times had by some. But yeah, I think, chat, I will leave it there. Have a nice day, enjoy your week ahead and whatever. You know, well, try at least, I'm not forcing you. Thanks, OBS.